Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. Today I'm going to show you how to make some rubber stamps using your Glowforge laser cutter. So excited about this. I'm actually working on another side project for sublimation stamp pads, and what better way to showcase some stamp pads by doing some rubber stamps. The only issue is I'm not a stamper, so I would have to go and buy some. But why buy some when you can just go make some yourself? It's actually significantly cheaper. I do like making my own things, and the reason for that is, sometimes you're just looking for something really particular. You try and scour the internet or craft stores, either they're sold out or they just don't sell them. So why not just make them and make them exactly the way you want? Specifically, the rubber stamp that I'm going to show you how to make is a name. It's going to be my dog's name because it's going to go on a bandana. Now, normal stamps, when you make stamps, you're going to want to mirror everything, and I will show you that during the design process. But because it's going to be a sublimation type thing, I don't want it to be mirrored. I want it to be legible, and then when I stamp it down, it'll be mirrored, and then it's got the whole process for the sublimation stuff. So that's the reason why I'm actually creating these stamps, is because I'm using my dog's name and I want it to be mirrored, so when I sublimate it, then it'll be legible after that process is done, which is what brings me to making my own rubber stamps. But I've already done one to show you. It is a little paw print, and I'm using the orange rubber that you can buy off Amazon. Everything will be linked in the description of this video. And then this is a thick piece of acrylic, and I just affix it onto the back. I'll show you how to do all of that later, but let's get started on designing this. I'm using Inkscape. It's a free program. If you have not seen any of my videos on designing on Inkscape, I suggest you go and check them out because they are very helpful. Okay, in Inkscape right here, you can see I've already cut it out and I already have it right here. But this is essentially what we're making. It just looks very basic. There's certain things that you're going to have to make sure that you do in order for it to be a working stamp. So that's what we'll get into now. And I will move this over down to the bottom just because we don't need that. We'll get that out of the way. First and foremost, let's start with, we're going to use a name, and my dog's name is Max. So I'm just going to click on this little text box and add it in there. I'm going to use all capitals, and I am just going to put his name on there, and then just go back up into that cursor thing because we're going to make it bigger. And if you click on the arrow and press Control, I'm on a Mac, it will take the font and evenly distribute it and make it larger as it goes. Okay, the box is right there. It's being covered. Drag me down. Okay, right here where this text box is, click that, and then this will pop up. You are going to want to add in whatever text that you want. The text I'm using is called Grow Bold, and press Apply. So I've been asked this before. If you save this and brought it over into Glowforge, it gets a, I'll tell you exactly what it is. If you add this in there, you're going to get this notification that says this design has a text and it deletes the text wherever it's at. See how it says this? The text was removed. That is because we did not create a path. It's still a text. You can tell it's gone right here. We'll delete that. Go back over into Inkscape. So there are a few keystrokes that you're going to have to do to take this text and make it not a text box. And what you're going to do is at the very top, there is path. You want to say object to path. That is taking your thing and making it not a text box anymore. Now you're going to want to ungroup this. So then you can go to, I know the keystrokes for this, but I know it's object and then ungroup. I know if you're using a Windows computer, it's a little bit different. So I tried to use the stuff at the very top just so we can do it for both. Okay, now you see how the M and the A are kind of connected, and in this one they're not. That's kind of how I want that. So I'm just going to drag, click, just click this over. I'm going to evenly, kind of try and evenly distribute this. And then what you also can do is now that they're all individual icons, just take your shift key on your keyboard and click. My computer is dying. Okay. Then you want to go up here to the align and distribute button and just distribute this evenly between the two objects. That way that they're all evenly distributed. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to union this. Whoa, where are we going? Where is that text? Okay, there we go. So then you want to go up to path and then press union. Union is weld in Design Space. So if you use the crickets, then that's the same. Weld and union are the same thing. Now you have your finished text. If you wanted to take this over into Glowforge, you could cut this out because this is a finished text. It's no longer, or a finished object. It's no longer a text box. Now that we have your finished text, we're going to just drag this down just a little bit. Okay, what you're going to want to do is you're going to make a duplicate copy of this. And that is so you can start making a shadow. So on your keyboard, if you're a Mac, it's Command D. If you are not on that, go up to... It is edit and then duplicate. It doesn't look like anything happened. Trust me, something did. Just drag that very top thing up. And that cusping is on. Do you see how it's kind of like sticking together at the very right here? Just unclick that and it'll stop like twitching out on you. I'm going to drag this down a little bit further. Okay, this is going to be your back or your shadow. For me, if you look at this and it's already cut, you can see how there is like a raised version of that. So everything that the ink pad is going to touch is the inside of the letters. That's how I want to do it. There's numerous ways to make a stamp. You can make it to where the outside is more raised so you can just have a shadow. It depends on how you want it, but this is how I'm going to have it, where all it is just the letters of his name is going to be the raised version of that. So what I'm going to do is make a shadow. Go up to path and then outset. You can see how it says command and then the parentheses. So you need to do command shift and then 0 to do an outset. Or you could just keep clicking that and you can tell it just kind of gets a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to keep going until everything is just connected. All right. And then there is just a little bit of like right here that I don't want. Do I want that? Do I not want that? Do I want that? Do I not want that? I don't think I want it. So I'm just going to click this little nodes thing. And I'm actually going to cut this one out and I'm going to cut all of this out too. I don't want anything on the inside. All right. Now go back over into your arrow key and send this to the very back. Okay. And then you are going to want to change this to blue. So go down the bottom and just change that to blue. Now we want to duplicate this again. So it's Command D or edit and duplicate. And we're going to drag this up to the very top because we don't need that for right now. Okay, click the black and the blue. Shift and click, or you can drag and highlight both of those. And then you want to center them together. And then what you want to do is go up into path and then difference. So now everything that you see that is blue is going to be engraved. And everything that you see that is white or is clear, it's actually, there's nothing in there anymore. If I drag this over, there's nothing there. That means that everything on the inside, there's nothing that's going to happen. Everything in the blue is going to be engraved. So then we want to go over into the still blue version. And we want to change the fill to no fill, and then change your stroke to black. And then we're going to change this button. We're right clicking on this. Right click and then change that to 0.1. So it's pretty thin. Same thing with the fill and the stroke. You're right clicking. Okay, now what you want to do is same thing, is select both of these and we're going to center them together. That is it. Actually, let me just make sure. One more thing. We're going to take that and we're going to make sure that the stroke is left off. So remove the stroke. That just says that it's not going to cut. That because now we have the cut is, if you drag this down, that black line, this black line right here, that's your cut file. The blue, the darker blue, that is your engraved file. Okay, we're going to reverse that. And then there's that, and let's group that. Go into edit, object, where is the object, and then group. Show. Now with a stamp, you always have a block of some sort that you can use to stamp. I am going to use my own. I'm going to make my own with thick, clear acrylic, just like how I have my dog paw. You also can buy wood stamp blocks on Amazon too, if that's what you prefer. So if you did that way and you don't want to make your own little block, then just skip this step. But all you want to do is just take this square box, and we're just going to draw a box around. There it is. We're going to draw a box around Mac, your stamp, and go back. Once you do that, go back into the arrow key, and we're just going to drag this. I don't want to make it too big, but I also don't want to make it too small that things are hanging off. You can tell with the paw print. Do you see how it's kind of tight? There's not a lot of leftovers hanging out, but it's definitely, the stamp is not hanging off. So that's essentially what you want. Just want to make it tight, but not too tight. Okay, over here at the very bottom, again, you're going to want to change the fill to remove fill, change the stroke to black, and then right click that button, that number, and then do 0.1. Okay, make sure and drag this down like that so nothing's touching. Same thing with that. We're going to drag this away. Okay, this is the one that we're going to cut. Now, at this point in time, if you wanted to, you could select it all, go up here, make sure that this button is locked. I'm going to change this over into inches, and then you can go ahead and resize this to whatever you need. This one, the original one that I did, that's right here, is 4.2 inches in length. It's a pretty decent size. The beauty of making your own stamp is that you can make it your own size and anything you want to do. Okay, we are going to save this. And then open up a new window in your Glowforge. You can tell I already have my clear acrylic on there. Oh, we'll delete that little warning sign. And we are going to upload that saved file that we have. Okay, every Glowforge machine, just like a Cricut and anything else, has different settings for everything. I can give you my starter settings of what I use, and you can go from there. If they don't work for you, then just adjust the font, just adjust the speed or the power as best as your machine can. I have a Glowforge Plus, so the Plus and the Pro kind of have very similar settings. The Glowforge Basic, because it doesn't have a lot of power or the speed, your settings might be a little bit different, but it should be similar if you're using a Plus or Pro. Oh, totally forgot. If you are doing a rubber stamp for something like a piece of paper or anything like that, you want to make sure and mirror. The reason why I did not mirror this one today is what I'm going to do is this is my thing, right? And to me, reading it right now, it says Mac. When I put it on to my piece of paper for sublimation, it is going to be backwards. But the reason why I need it to be backwards then is because I'm going to go put it on another substrate, and then it's going to be legible to me. And I've already covered this at the very beginning. So if you are taking this stamp and you're going to use it for your products or for anything that you're not going to then need to have extra work done to it, make sure and mirror. And how to do that, go back over into Inkscape, and we're going to highlight everything that you just did, and see that little arrow button? Just click that and it mirrors it. That's it. That's all you want to do. And then make sure and save. You cannot do this step in the Glowforge app. It is a premium, which drives me bananas. Anytime, like if you click this, all of these things right here are all premium features. And it's, for me, I will not pay the amount of money that they're wanting you to pay to just get these simple features. They do have a stamp maker on here. Again, I don't pay for premium, so I don't even know how easy it is to use that feature, but they do have some features over here that I'm sure would be useful, but I can do it all in Inkscape for free, which is why I don't pay for it. So if you forgot this step, then all you have to do is go back, like I just showed you, mirror it, and then all you have to do is go back in here again, press upload, and then put it back in there. And eventually, here it is. Now it's there, and it's backwards. That's exactly what you want. So when you cut it and then you have it, when you stamp it, it won't be backwards for you. Alrighty, that is it. That was the showdown. Ooh, cut settings. Just almost forgot about those good old cut settings. Okay, so for the engrave on the stamp, always, I go over here. If my Glowforge was on, there's this set focus button. I put the material in my Glowforge and then press the set focus button. I always do this. The reason for that is I have had my machine not cut my material all the way through, and it's super frustrating. Even if I'm using their proof grade material, it still doesn't cut well. I always set focus before ever going anywhere further. So make sure to set focus. And then what you want to do is go over here to the engrave. It doesn't matter what this setting is because you're set focusing. And then when you go over here to engrave, just do standard graphic, press that button, and we're going to change this to 613. Power is at 100. And then I am going to do 2 passes. And then your lines per inch, I did 225. You can keep it at 270 if you wanted to, but I did it at 225. And then this right here is why you want to do auto, is because you're auto focusing. You could get some calipers and manually do it yourself if that's what you wanted to, but I always find that there's more success. I have less fails when I just auto focus and just do it that way. Now, when you're done doing that, do not press this back button. Don't do that because it'll reset to factory settings. Just click out of it. And then over here at the cut, you want to click that cut. And we're going to change that cut to 125. So go over here. We're going to change the speed to 125. We're going to do full power with 1 pass. And then again, just click out of it. And there you go. Now all you have to do is cut this out. Make sure you cut this out with the rubber and this out on that clear acrylic if that's what you're using. Okay, now that we're done doing that, cut this out and then meet me back here and I'll show you how to put all of this together. Now that you have your finished stamp, make sure before you get to this step that you wash this off with some dish soap and water and then just a scrub brush. Really get in there and scrub really well to get all that dusty, nasty stuff that's off there. But this is your finished product. You can see that there is like engraving on the inside and everything. That is his name. is flat and looks amazing. Okay, you're going to need now is your block of choice, your dry. Make sure this is dry before you glue it, right? For that, I am using Super Tights Multi-Grab 360 for this. If you are using E6000 glue, throw that stuff away and get this stuff. This one is completely non-toxic and will not kill you, I promise. You can leave it in this, into this bottle. Ooh, it's starting to spill out already because I was sitting there playing with it. You can leave it in this bottle if you wanted to. I have all of my glues kind of put into these like syringe plungers. Here's a different type of glue, but it's in like another syringe plunger. And that's just so I can get like a better handle and it doesn't just go like here, there, and everywhere. You get more of a fine tip, which is perfect for this project. And all you're going to do is I don't know what is on the back of that. It's definitely not glue, but I don't know what that is. Okay, so all you're gonna wanna do is just take a little bit of your glue. This stuff kind of smells like nail polish remover, but it will not give you a headache like E6000 glue does. It is just as strong, just as amazing, just does not have any toxins in there that will give you cancer. Okay, so what I always do is after I'm done, I kind of pull this, whatever this is called, I pull it up so it quits having pressure down at the bottom so you won't have like a free-flowing mess of glue. Then take your clear block. I took the masking tape off of one side already, and then you're just going to put your rubber thing down and kind of smush it down. There is just a little bit of glue like coming out. That's what you're trying to avoid by using the fine tip pen. So there's just a little bit of glue. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna just get the glue off of the outside. This isn't necessary. If you did too much glue, it's fine. For aesthetic reasons, I'm just gonna take this off, but you are going to want to let this dry and totally cure. This stuff doesn't take very long, but you definitely want to let it sit there and dry to make sure that it's good and affixed on there. What I can do is I can peel the back of this masking tape off. So you can see, this is what the back looks like. All right. And then here is one of the stamps that I've already done, already finished. You can tell I've been using it. Here is my testing for it. Here's the back. So the back is completely dry and you can hardly see any of the glue. I love this stuff. And it does not have like a strong smell to it. So now that we have our stamp done, I'm here. This is the new stamps that are coming out. They already have a black already in stock, but they have other colors coming out too. And we are just doing this. Okay. Make sure I have my stamp covered entirely. I was struggling with this table because it's not flat. There's some ridges in it. There's that. Okay, we're just going to put this on there and press. And there you have it, a done stamp that you just made yourself. All right, y'all, I hope this was helpful and I will see you later.